Welcome back, everyone, to the Brain Soul Show, where neuroscience meets that deeper intelligence of your soul. Today, I want to talk with you about money and energy, right? Everyone wants more wealth, and there's some trying times on our planet right now. But you know what? Your income is not a strategy problem. It's actually a frequency problem. And today I'm going to show you why. So, physics actually tells us that everything is energy, right? Including money. Okay, money is just energy, it's a form of exchange. So, when you pay for something, you are valuing that and you're getting that item, that program, that whatever in return. But a lot of entrepreneurs try to create strategies and buy different programs and things that are going to help them with strategy and funnels and all of that. And really, income is energy. It's everything is energy. It's tied directly actually to your nervous system and how your brain is wired. So if you're wired for fear and scarcity, and you've had, abuse in the past, let's say, and that isn't cleared, it's gonna be harder to create the money that you want, right? And it's not about money for many of us. I know for me, it's impact. I wasn't going for money in the beginning. Have I made good money? Yes. But really, it was how many lives can I change? So it was all about service and was all about impact. But I did keep working on my brain as well as all the people that I work with, and rewiring that brain and that nervous system for the faith, the trust, the confidence, and the belief. So when your brain is running subconscious patterns, that actually is running 95% of your financial decisions. Think about that for a minute, right? So we've got to clear the old energy of fear, shame, unworthiness, because that is what's blocking you from really achieving your goals. So I also see a lot of entrepreneurs who are awesome. There's and healers and practitioners and coaches, and they're so talented at their craft and they're so good at what they do, but they're not making the impact that they want to make and they don't have the clients they want to have. Why? Right? Is the market just flooded? No, it's the inner work that reflects in the outer work. So we do have to clear the subconscious patterns and also rewire. That's important. Rewiring your brain, your nervous system. This is bigger than somatic work. Many of you are doing somatic work. Great work. All the breath work is important. I mean, I've done all the different kinds of energy work out there. I've been around for a long time and I'm always learning more as well. And as soon as I learn something, I love to share it. But what I can tell you is there's a deeper connection between the brain and the soul and that neuroscience, that nervous system that we do have to work on to really move you forward because everything is energy and you're holding those patterns in the field, in their energetic field. And when we clear them, the results are amazing. So, what are some of those things that you really want to be working on? Well, you want to be thinking back to, maybe when you were a child. And again, if you had a hard childhood or difficulties, or you maybe lost a parent or a grandparent and they were very, very dear to your heart, there's some hurt or maybe some old grief that needs to be cleared. So, you certainly want to look back on your childhood. You also could have heard, the subconscious programming from your parents. Money doesn't grow on trees, right? How many of us have heard that? So that also, you don't even realize that that's a subconscious pattern in the background. And we got to clear it again at the brain soul level so that you can really leap forward and create that impact you want to create, right? And have the life that you desire. Absolutely, absolutely. So that's one pattern. The other one would be feeling rejected or shamed in some way. So if you look back again, and I'm going to invite you all to do this after you listen to this podcast, is look back again at those places where you felt rejected. or not good enough. It could have been a sixth grade teacher that, shamed the whole class. And you took it so personally. And today you still can't draw anything because you got in big trouble for some art project that you did in sixth grade, right? And you just felt like so less than. We got to clear that energy out of there, right? So you can feel confident and move forward. So it can be something like that. And even though I do this work and I've been doing it for, gosh, 26 years, I think since the year 2000. Um, I still have blocks. I still have things that are going to come up for me. I use my own tools, every day on myself, as well as all the people that I work with. And so recently, something triggered me myself to go, hey, why am I thinking about this like thing that happened when I was like 19 or 20? Like, well, I was offended. Okay. The word that came up for me was offended. And I was like, wow, man, how many places in my life have I been offended? If offended and rejected, those were kind of two of the similar words that were coming up for me. And I was like, wow, where did that happen for me? And where are all the places that I need to clear? And so I just put the opposite of that in a box on a paper. I wrote a box on a paper, and the opposite was, hey, I feel honored. I feel respected. I feel valued. And so the offended and the rejection kind of issues, they were in the energetic field, and I needed to clear them out of the way. And I was surprised. I was doing this on myself, even what came up for me. So I don't know if I think it was something like at 6, it might have been something at 12. I remember there was something at 19. Um, I remember there was a year and it was during my birthday. And I just had my birthday. Maybe that's why this came up actually. So different patterns will come up at different times. And my whole family and my brother's girlfriend, they all went sort of like on this little vacation that weekend. And it was already had been planned and everything, but I felt very rejected, very offended, and very hurt. Right. So I needed to clear that energy. And when I did that and rewired my brain and my nervous system with my positive goal, feeling valued, right? Feeling honored, feeling supported. Wow, I felt lighter. I felt completely lighter. So I'm giving you an example here because I use this work on myself as well as all my clients. So I do want to walk you through something that you could do energetically here as well on yourself, some tools that you can use to help yourself with this as well. So let's take a look at this. What is going to help all of you right now listening to this start to begin to clear those money blocks, those feeling worthy blocks, right? Where you haven't felt worthy in your life. Let's see what's the best thing to do that I can teach you very quickly here. Well, I would actually just do some of the mind gems. And so mind gems is 12 little exercises that balance the nervous system. They're balancing the rings around your brain. So if you don't know me and you don't know my work, I work in the energetic field, clearing the blocks and rewiring. The rewiring piece happens to be these codes that are in the field, in the energy field. Think of them as acupuncture points on your body. So this is K2, kidney 2 points in acupuncture. Well, what I'm doing when I rewire is I'm using something called spin points. Spin points are in the energy field. So, for example, you spin. You're making a circle with your hands. So if you're listening to this on the audio, you might want to jump over to YouTube and check it out. So 4-2, I'm spinning in front of my heart chakra, is I have positive self-worth. 2-2, I choose to succeed. I'm just making a circle down my front, and I'm going down a little bit each time. 4-4, I choose to live in joy. And 6-2, I choose to live by the higher laws. Those are called clearings. They help with clearing self-sabotage patterns. So these are some of the codes that I learned years ago that are pieces and parts of bigger integrations, and they literally clear 7 generations back and 7 forward. It is the most powerful. It looks weird, but cool. Honestly, energetic work that I've ever done that's really helped shift people on bigger levels than I would have ever dreamed of. So those are called positive point. There's positive points, there's clearings, there's integrations. So let's clear some old energy right now together, and then let's rewire using those codes that I just kind of demonstrated here. So let's put you being really worthy, feeling worthy and on top of it, right? Like confident, like you've got this. That's the energy, that's the goal or intention. And then let's take a look in the energy field and go, hey, what's blocking you from that worthiness, from you really making that impact and the money that you want to make? And if I just go into the energy field and I'm picturing an audience here in front of me, and I do this in big groups, let's figure out a couple of the pieces or places that are blocking you. So we're going to do what I call two strings today. That means two chords, two strings, two places that are blocking you from that wealth and from that worthiness. 6. And the first one I get is age 6. So again, I'm just energetically, intuitively, someone called me clairvoyant. I guess you could call it that. Only I do teach people this. So it isn't just, Louise can do this. You can learn this too. It takes a little time, but you can. So I'm saying age 6. So what happened at age 6? So age 6, well, again, you were kind of put down or rejected by someone in your family, or something happened there where you didn't feel confident. And so we name the negative words about that. So I got the word negative, relentless, injustice, scapegoat. So maybe you felt set up by a brother or a sister in some way. And violation. So we say the negative words, and I say, hey, what did that do then? Was it a liar, thief, or fraud on your worthiness and your wealth, your money coming in? Well, it was a fraud, meaning it wasn't your soul's truth. And then we say, did it kill, steal, or destroy? Like, it destroyed, didn't it? So then we reclaim the positive words. So it destroyed your freedom, your fulfillment, your success, your prosperity, and your good karma. So we're reclaiming those. And your energy, it destroyed your energy, your comfort to have, your trust, your security, your guidance, your protection, and your safety. So when we say it that way, it clears the brain and the soul because we're saying, and this came from John 10:10 in the Bible, that energy at age 6, that negativity, that violation, it was, a thief on you. I know that sounds like a really negative word, and I'm so positive. But again, the reason this works by clearing the brain and soul is because these words, liar, thief, fraud, kill, steal, or destroy, came from John 10:10 in the Bible. So it is clearing a soul level block. It's bigger, it's deeper than just Reiki, right? It's bigger. So then when we reclaim and we say, hey, it destroyed, and we reclaim, we say, hey, it destroyed your abundance, your fulfillment, your success, your prosperity, your good karma, your trust, your security, your guidance, your protection, your safety. We're reclaiming all of that. Okay? Then we're going to take it a step further, and this is called access consciousness, and just clear that even more or kind of close the door on it. So I destroy and uncreate any judgments, assumptions, projections, conclusions, decisions about the situation when I was 6 years old and anything in the field there that pulled you away from your worthiness, your success, right? Your money coming in. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all 100 shorts, pavids, creations, and beyonds. And then I usually have people tap the bottom of their foot. I don't know. It just kind of knocks it out there a little further. So kind of hit your foot. Now you should feel if that's hitting it right for you and you're open to receive this today, that should feel like there's a little bit of a quickening or a little bit of a shift, almost like something was lifted. You're a little lighter. And you can do layers and layers of these. And we're just doing a little bit here today. So there's another string. That means there's another people, place, or situation that is pulling you away from your worthiness, from your money coming in. So then we say, okay, what is this second string? Is this a male, a female, a situation, a place? I'm getting a place. Wow. Okay. What's this place? Was it a place like your home? No. Was it a place like school? Yes. So what age were you? 0 through 5, 5 through 10, 10 through 15, 15 to 20, 15 to 20, 15, 16, 16, 16 or 17. So many of you listening, you were age 16 or 17, possibly something at school. So if this was at school, was it with a teacher? Was it with a student? Was it with a friend? So it was with a friend. So this is something when you were 16 or 17 with a friend that maybe didn't make you feel very good about yourself, right? So let's get the negative words first. So what are the negative words? And again, I'm just going in the energy field and I have cheat sheets of words here. Possessive. So possessive, shame, ignored, misunderstood. This was kind of a mean thing. Contemptuous, I got. Um, Is there another word we need to name on this string when you were around 16 or 17? No. Is possessive an entity in the field? Yes. So this could have been a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Um, Possessive, when it's an entity, that means it's an energetic attachment. And it got attached to you in some way. And it could be holding you back again from your truth, your soul's truth, and you creating that wealth that you want. So we're going to release it right now. And so the way we release it is I actually make a little statement and I ask it to leave very strongly. Okay. And so we're just going to ask that possessive energy to leave. So it's no longer allowed anywhere near you. It must leave your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual body in all space, time, and dimensions. So we're going to command that that energy leave now and go to the light. It's not allowed to be attached to you again, any piece of you and your entire energetic field. So get out now. In the name of God, the name of Jesus, the name of your higher power, we command that that possessive energy leave you and leave anything connected to you and your wealth, you and your worthiness. Get out now. Rakma! Ha! Did I scare you? So I'm doing my spin points after that. Um, all right. So hopefully you felt something move there, right? Something leave. And if you didn't feel that as you're listening tonight, that's okay. Okay, that's fine. A lot of people will feel this because it's energy work, even the next day or even the following day. You might notice that you're just subtly lighter or something begins to shift. So we're just clearing a little bit of what could be holding you back, right, from your goals, your intentions with that money, that worthiness, because everything truly is energy. Now, the next piece of this would be to rewire, right? Rewire your brain, your nervous system, your soul for the goal or intention that you have. And these are those spin points, these codes in the energy field. So, numbers is the universal language. So, numbers inform and speak to your energetic field. So, I didn't make these up, they came from the Bible. My teacher got them from the Bible. Her name was Dorothy. I don't know how. Okay. So many people ask me and they're like, well, where do those come from? And why do those work so well? And how come you know those? Or what is this? And can you teach me? All those questions. And I'll just tell you that Dorothy, I mean, she died about 15 years ago. She was the most connected to God person I ever met, ever. And the people that have been through my program and learned my whole brain system, I had a woman who was very, very, she was very Christian. And I remember when she came to me, she goes, I've been studying the Bible for years, Louise. She said, but I feel more connected and closer to God than I ever have. And it's this work. It's your brain system. It's these codes. And I was kind of shocked, to be honest, but I never forgot it. I never forgot it. And I just thought, wow, I feel like that too. And why? How do these work? So I can't tell you how they work, but it's just one of those things where you have to go, okay, I have to open, I have to receive, I have to trust, and then listen to your body how you feel. Now, of course, I'm doing this on a podcast on Zoom, but we do have in-person events where you can actually experience this in person and feel it. Oh my gosh, it is incredibly powerful. It like literally takes like years off of somebody's, energetic baggage, and they move forward so quickly. So we call these the miracle codes. They've also been called the success codes. But we're going to rewire you right now with you feeling worthy. So if you were with me, I'd have you say, I feel worthy and I'm open to receive, right? I'm open to receive more money, more clients, a bigger business, whatever it is, the relationship, whatever you want, fill that in right now. Okay. Kind of say that to yourself. And then I'm going to do these codes on, again, everyone here listening. So the first one's I'm going down your left leg and I'm saying 2, 3 love, 5, 3 forgiveness. I'm spinning like this. 2, 3 love, 5, 3 forgiveness, 6, 5 choice, 9, 2 freedom, 4, 2 greater love. Then we come down our front. 4, 2, high positive self-worth. 2, 2, I choose to succeed. 4, 4, I choose to live in joy. And 6, 2, I choose to live by the higher laws. And then I'm doing some extra ones on you, and this is called a mini integration. So mini, it's just the codes. There's full integrations that work on each lobe of the brain. And when you do each one of those integrations, you literally catapult forward, because every time we do one of those, we're clearing 7 generations back and 7 forward of your energetic patterns. It's like we're blowing them out. It truly is the most powerful thing I've ever seen and worked with and taught. So 147 on your back side. And then I have you look at my X. So you're just going to look at an X. Now you could look at an X on a piece of paper. You could look at an X on a ceiling tile, doesn't matter. Or you can make your own X. Okay. 4, 5, 9, 6, 9, 6. 9, 6 is the cranial ring. 8, 6 is the hearing ring. Notice I'm saying rings. I'm balancing the rings around your brain. So you have capacitor rings around your brain, much like if the middle of your face was an atom and you have rings around it. We are balancing those in the field. This is the energetic brain. There isn't any other work that I've ever experienced that works on the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and energy field at the same time. So we just balanced the hearing ring. 6, 8 is the seeing ring. 3 to 9, 26 complete cycles, 5,859 times. 2 to 8, 23 complete cycles, 2,623 times. 3, 7, 5, 3, 7, 7. 4, 5, 8, 6, 4, 6, 9, 4, 6, 7, releasing trauma. 10, 5, 7, 8. 2, 8, 7, 7, 5, and the shock 1, 2, 3. Placing with peace 5, 2. 5 to 1137 complete cycles, 87,357 times. 2 to 8, 2432 times. 4, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 6, 2, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. So you may or may not have felt some kind of quickening or lightness. And then we lock it in. So then I would have you restate, yes, I feel worthy. I feel abundant. I am open to receive, right? I'm open to receive, more money, more clients, the relationship, whatever it is you desire. Okay. And then you state that again. And after you state it this second time, if I was muscle testing you, you would be strong, meaning we cleared all the old energy. And then we lock it in. And the way we lock it in is to hold your hands together, clasp them together above your head. So you're just clasping your hands together and pretending I'm sort of pulling down on them. And then I'll have you all cone your fingers on your right hand, like you're making a little wand with your fingers. And you make a circle. You're circling in front of your heart. And you say, 2, I choose to succeed. And then you tap your navel 8 times. 1, 2, 3. That locks in that little, process we did. So the clearing of the old and the integrating of, I am worthy. I am open to receive this abundance, this wealth. Okay, so that locked all that in. Now, usually there's homework. I, I'm an old-fashioned school teacher. I still get to give homework because you're going to process this. So, as simple as that process seems, you're going to process this for probably a couple weeks. So, I am going to give you mind gems for homework. Mind gems are 12 little exercises that balance the brain. Okay, this one balances polarity, but they're balancing, they're helping you focus, they're helping begin to release these old patterns while you're rewiring the new ones. So, right hand on left shoulder, left hand on right shoulder, you hold it for 12 seconds and then you switch. And when you switch, you want to put in that positive intention. Again, I feel worthy, I feel blessed, I am open to receive. Now, the one to clear trauma. So, if trauma was coming up for you while we were doing this, you were really seeing some pictures in your mind from age 6 or 16 or 17. Clearing trauma is you cone your fingers and you put the right hand over the soft spot in the middle of your head. You put the right on the left side and the left on the right side. So, I'm crossed over the middle of my head. And again, I hold this for 12 seconds. And I might be focused on whatever that trauma was. And then I release it. And then I switch my hands. The other one goes in front. And I'm going to put in the positive. I let go and I'm open to receive. I am abundant. I am worthy. I am successful. So that's just 2 of the mind gems, but we'll post the link here below so that you can continue to do them. So then the next question is, what happens when you do this work, right? Why am I so excited about it and sharing it with all of you here? Well, my goal is to change 10 million brains by 2030. I know it's a pretty big goal, but the more people I teach, that means it's the fish in the sea, the more this will get out there, right? So therein lies why I'm teaching this, why I have events, why I have master classes. And when we use this work, like miracles happen. So like for Deanna came in with a traumatic brain injury, and she ended up becoming my first certified coach in the brain system in this work. And we cleared layer after layer of blocks. We cleared her addiction to cremate. I know that sounds crazy, right? But she said, I'm drinking this bad stuff for me and I don't want to drink this stuff anymore. And I'm like literally addicted to it. So we did an addiction thing and we cleared that. And she goes, that worked really well. Now I want to quit smoking. I was like, okay, let's work on that. So we helped her quit smoking using the brain system. 30 years she was a smoker. She quit smoking. That first year that she started learning all of this, she went from 30,000 to 100,000. And then the second year, she went to 200,000. And I'm still in touch with her. She has been part of our community. She was my first certified coach. Now she's working her own business. She's absolutely amazing. But when we figured it out, she's made like probably $1.2 million over the last, I think, 7 or 8 years here. So it wasn't in one year. We're not claiming that. Okay. But she's happy with that, right? When maybe you would be too. So, but it's because we did all of this work, and she's like, this has paid for itself over and over and over again for me. And I remember when she said to me, she said, I don't have anything left. We cleared every block, every person, every relationship issue or anything. She goes, I'm just generally joyful and happy and I love what I do. How very cool is that? Right? That's just Deanna. Okay, there's hundreds more stories like that. Like hundreds more stories like that. There's one woman I worked with and she made like $5,500 the very next day. Closed a high-end client in her program after we cleared energy for her and rewired her brain using these codes. And this is all on Zoom, right? This is all on Zoom. Another one of my clients, Bonnie, she had spent $50,000 with business coaches and still didn't have a business. She was still struggling. And I could tell she was in like becoming like almost like frustrated, really just disgruntled, almost like, hey, I'm gonna give up on this now. I mean, why am I even doing this kind of thing? And yet she was really passionate and really good, amazing spiritual coach. And so we started working, we cleared all of her blocks, and she had some beginning brain stuff, like some balance issues that never had the label of MS, but was kind of going in that direction. And we cleared all that, and her balance was better. Her health was better. She was, standing differently. She was awesome. And she finally got clients and finally had a retreat she'd been trying to have for 7 years. So she was finally making money. And it wasn't all those other programs that helped. It was clearing her blocks. It's the inner work that reflects in the outer work. So I can tell you story after story. So if you're listening to this podcast, you're a coach, you're an entrepreneur, and you're at a ceiling, right? You're like, wow, I'm doing good. I'm making six figures, but I want to make seven, or I'm helping this number of people, but this is my bigger goal. you know, we can clear that out of the way. Okay, I've also cleared blocks for people, and it works on anything really. But that is really what I'm focused on are the entrepreneurs and the coaches and the practitioners and the healers. But we've integrated people to have relationships. I remember one year in my Awakening Abundance group, 4 people got engaged. I'm like, oh, I love this. And then the next year we had a bunch of houses sell. So it seems to go in waves of themes, but always around abundance, right? And that's whatever that means to you. It could be your health. It could be it could be a relationship. It's not always money, but money is energy. The other thing I want to share with you about money that's interesting that I've used in my own business and life for years is the concept of tithing. Okay. And I'm not saying necessarily you have to tithe to a church, although you could, but I call it the God loop. Okay. I'm very good and in the flow with money, with giving and receiving. I give a lot, but I give and then I receive. And so I just sort of like know this flow that I'm in, So as soon as money comes in, it could be that I'm tithing or to one of my teammates, or whatever. And so I just keep that going. So there is this energy flow that needs to happen. In other words, if you are hoarding and holding on to, and you're in fear, that isn't going to help you create more abundance. It's this concept of, you know, buying, receiving, giving, receiving, all of that. Think of it as the God loop. I call it the God loop. Okay. So when you're doing that, you're going to see that you can even create more wealth, more abundance in your life, in your business, and for your people that you're working with. Yeah, it works in all those different ways. So, wow, I'm really, really excited to be with all of you today. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast and for sharing it with your friends. And I do invite you to please subscribe here so we can keep bringing you this channel. And I want to invite you to learn a little bit more about these miracle codes and to experience it for yourself and to start learning some of these tools. So, we have a masterclass coming up. It is the Miracle Codes. It's increasing, unlocking more of your impact and your wealth. And so that's coming up here August 12th, and we're actually going to live stream it on B-Spire TV. So we're co-creating together with B-Spire TV. It's the first time I've done this. Super excited about this. We want to thank Tracy Campbell and all of her team for this opportunity. So you definitely want to be there. I'm not going to record it. Okay, you have to experience it. It's like being in a huge transformational event. but online. And so that is what we're bringing to all of you on August 12th. So we'll post the link here below for that as well. So if this resonated with you and you want to learn more and you want to feel it, and you want to feel it again, or you're curious, you have questions, join us and invite a friend. Your friend will thank you. They always do. They're like, thank you so much. I feel so much lighter. I don't know what that lady did, but I feel different. And so sometimes those are the comments that we get. Anyway, I love you all so much. So remember, follow your heart and take your brain with you.